In this painting, I am going to show you a snowy mountain. The monochrome acrylic painting of snowy mountain used just one color, phthalo turquoise, and with plus white and black to create a full landscape. This approach focuses on value the range of light and dark to define the rugged shapes of the peaks without the complexity of multiple color families. Creating an outline for a mountain acrylic painting involves sketching the fundamental jagged shapes of the peaks onto the canvas to guide the later application of paint, shadows, and highlights. These foundational steps establish the composition, perspective, and lighting before detailed painting begins. Create a range by adding smaller overlapping peaks around the main one to add depth. Now creating a water body, the base layer using the same color, fill the water area with a medium value tone. Using the horizontal strokes for water to suggest calm, still or rippling effect. Always use horizontal strokes for still water to create a sense of calm and the repression the flat surfaces. Creating a snow mountain with a palette knife and one color, typically titanium white, relies on the paint break techniques to create texture and depth without needing a second pigment. By varying pressure and the angle of the knife, you allow the background of the canvas to show through, which creates natural looking shadows and rocky highlights. Step 1. Load the knife. Pull a small film roll of paint onto the edge on the palette knife. It's essential to use a film paint so it stands up on the canvas rather than sliding. Next, starting at the mountain's peak, hold the knife nearly parallel to the canvas. Apply the paint with only a whisper of pressure, allowing the knife to barely skim the surface. Third, the slicing motion just glide the knife downward in one smooth angled stroke following the slope of the mountain. As you move, the paint will naturally break, leaving gaps where the canvas underneath is visible. These gaps act as a natural shadows and cracks of the mountain. The fourth one, using the sharp edge of the knife to define the central ridge of the mountain by applying the thicker layer and one side of this ridge and a lighter, more broken layer and the other. And the fifth step, for the base of the mountain, use the flat of the knife to scrape and blend the white paint more smooth. And using a palette knife to apply pure white to the opposite side of the shadows to represent the sunlit snow. Adding white to our base color to create a light shade, using this to highlight the tops of waves, suggesting sunlight hitting the water. Using long horizontal strokes with a flat brush to create a mirror-like effect, to pull the colors from the sky straight down into the water area to represent reflections. Moving water and waves, apply a base layer that gets darker as it moves towards the bottom of the canvas, and the ripples used to create small zigzags, keep them tiny near the horizon, and they make them whiter and more spaced out. They move towards the foreground to show perspective. Just creating the falling snow effect, and this technique creates a gentle snowfall effect in the background. And mix little titanium white acrylic paint with water until it has a thin milky consistency, and using the splattering techniques, dip a stiff brush and into the paint and flick the bristles with your finger towards the canvas, and just layering. Apply the light application first, allowing them to dry and build up more layers for a heavier snowfall. Just one tips here, avoid creating grid-like patterns to keep the snow looking natural. If you feel hard to do, just practice first. Try the splattering techniques on a scrap piece of paper or cardboard. First, test the paint consistency. The important tips is this technique works best if your canvas already has a darker background, as the bricks is the white paint will reveal the dark color to form shadows. And another one tips, if you go over the same spot too many times, the paint will flatten and lose snowy texture. So 1 or 2 strokes are usually enough to achieve the desired effect. And the third tips, if you apply too much paint, you can simply use clean edge of the knife to scrape it off and try again. Since we are using only one paint color and our canvas must be a darker color, and start at the very top of our mountain outline using the edge of our knife, pull the tiny bit of white paint down to create a sharp jagged peak. When we are creating the snowy ridge, just following this, reload your knife with a fresh roll of paint and touch the ridge and pull the knife toward the side where the light is coming from. And allow the knife to stutter across the canvas, and the texture of the canvas will pull small bits of white paint off the knife, leaving the dark background visible in the bits of the canvas to stimulate rags. Preparing the sky background, I am using the Pitalo turquoise and little Pitalo turquoise, add some white color and mixing well, just creating the sky background before adding snow, creating the dramatic dark sky to make the white paint stand out. I am using flat brush size 22 and just blend these colors and back and forth motions to create a soft moody effect for our sky background. Create a dark to light effect by mixing some Pitalo turquoise and little white and very little bit of black, and just mixing it together and just apply top of the canvas and gradually adding titanium white as your downward. Use a flat brush with the feathery strokes and mix of blues to create a textured moody window sky. Ensure this layer is completely dry before adding detailed. Always paints are the voice of soul and so powerful from your self-expression. If you're not inspiring anything to paint, take a break. Something will motivate you. Inspiration with passion coming from learning the loudest lesson in the quiet moment of the nature. Get the sparkle in your mind with start a small step. What you love it to start paint without any expectation. Just look out at the artist's work of can be inspiring you in the first place. Also find your inspiration vary the nature too. First try simple pattern of painting and just focus on your process without expectation. No need to compare others. Always your inner soul voice is raising that sound from the heart of all your paintings. Never forget